Aren't you happy and lucky that we don't have to taste urine to measure sugar levels? Well, I tell you, we still poke people though. Fingertips, the founder and CEO of the company, lost his sister to diabetes. And he remembers and tells me the story when we first met, how he remembers his sister's fingernail because she had fingers, because she had to tap 3 to 4 times a day to measure her sugar level. You know we still do that? Maybe not tasting urine, but we still do that. Well, there is some advancement, as Dr. Jacoby mentioned, in more continuous glucose monitoring, and it moves more and more into devices that you actually put on your hand or stomach, and you can measure this continuously. But you know what? It's still invasive. You're still needling it. So we want to take it to the next level. Just safe, everything that you hear now is a forward-looking statement. And by the way, Sanjay, this is an investment presentation for you. All right. Yes, 37 million are with diabetes today, as Susan mentioned earlier. However, we're looking at more than 90 million that are going to become diabetes. But if you look at the number globally, you're looking at over 700 million by 2020, 30, and growing from there. So we're not out of this. There is a war zone out there about sugar. Yesterday, I went to Costco to find some food to put on our table. So I look at the boxes, something sample, look at the boxes, and I looked at the sugar content. How could I talk about diabetes and solution to diabetes and not address what Dr. Jacoby mentioned about sugar? It's flooded with sugar everywhere, everything, especially in the middle aisle. You go to the supermarket, same thing. We're in a war zone on this. The solution is not simple, so we have to bring up people more to be aware of it and measure their sugar levels on a regular basis. So who are we? We just started in 2022, okay? Delaware Corporation. And since then, we already raised 2.2 million. We have 15 employees, and you'll hear more of that. We have 3 patents already pending, and actually 50 in the queue. IRB is approved study. Great initial successful result for first prototype. We're actually on number 6 now, coming up. We have identified manufacturing partners. We're targeting launch for 2024 and projecting 300 million in 2027. So what are we doing here? I'm going to give you a quick interest level. We raised 2.2. We're raising 2.5 now as a current seed round. And early in 2024, we're going to jump to 12.5 million raise, which will be Series A, and that's when they say it's a price raise. So what's the problem out there? What's going on? Here it is. You pick your finger. How many people have done it before? You know what it means. And that's how the standard measurement is. The next transition is the current continuous glucose monitoring, are disruptive, phenomenal technology, by the way. You can get on your phone continuous monitoring of the sugar level, but it's still invasive. And out of the 37 million in the US and 90 million that are going to get diabetes, only 2 million users with Dexcom currently are using this device. It's expensive. It's not always covered by insurance. So there is a process to go through. The Free Libre is another one. It's still invasive. The risk of infection cannot be repositioned, and you have to replace it like every 10 to 14 days. What do we offer? Non-invasive, of course, that's all we talk. It's a light technology, as Dr. Jacoby mentioned. It's accurate based on FDA requirements. So people will ask you, how accurate is it? We follow the FDA regulations. It's long-lasting. You know what long-lasting is? 1 year instead of every 10 days or 14 days. Comfortable, safe, expandable to a lot of different applications. It's intelligence, where you use AI-based health platform, and it's easy on, easy off. Look at the example for those who know what Dexcom and Libre is. To apply the device on your shoulder, you actually have to push with an applicator. It's like a mouse size and go click. And what do you do with this click? You throw it away. Look at the waste. Compare what you're going to have with ours, which is basically just a little box. Okay? When you look at the revenue projection, we have a CFO, by the way, Chief Financial Officer, who will be here. He's stuck on the freeway. Will be here in about 15 minutes, so you can ask him more detailed questions. But we develop we run several financial models on a lot of different scenarios to get us to these numbers. What you see here, by 2027, a prediction of 300 million in revenue, and you can imagine the valuation at that time of the company, okay? And that's, by the way, conservative. We can talk a lot about this after the session. So, detailed financial model, that's my expertise. I've run 3 NASDAQ technology companies, developed a lot of financial models. I had to do it every single time. So I sat down with the CFO and another economist, and we ran through a lot of numbers, a lot of ratios. There's a lot of studies that went into that, okay? The team. Mike Moore is the founder, CEO of this company, and he has a special skill to really get amazing team in place. I wouldn't brag about my background too much, but it's definitely a good match. The Chief Operating Officer knows not only how to be passionate about diabetes, but also take a product all the way from beginning to the end through the FDA approval. We have Mark, who's on his way. Myself, Bruce is the inventor behind this. The company started in 2022, but he has been doing this research and development for the last 5 years. So think about it as we've been in this for 5 years. And of course, we have a Chief Medical Officer, a Chief Marketing Officer, both for the US and Europe. Geraldine is based in UK. Amazing board of advisors. You can read the detail of their background. From a capital point of view, if you look at Susan, if those of you are going to CES in January, how many of you are going to that? Highly recommend, all right? She's the chair and one of the owners of the CES events. All right, so let's talk a little more detail here. 15 million total, which is spread to 2.5 million and 12.5 million respectively. Currently, the seed round is 10% interest, 2-year, 20% discount, 50K is minimum. Join us now or watch us grow, and it will be harder to join us at a later time. So Sanjay, talk to me after that, okay? Clinical studies, how are we going to use the money, the use of funds? There are 2 stages for the seed and the Series A. Clinical studies, R&D team, prototype and testing. We're going into version 6 of the device. Sales, marketing, launch activity, intellectual property, and contingencies, okay? You're looking at 2.5 and 12.5. Targeted milestone, what are we going to go at what time throughout the session? So studies to train, and that's artificial intelligence. So we have a system with machine learning that learns over and over. It gets smarter and smarter every time. We're looking at October this month to March 2024. FDA validation studies, we're looking at March, July 2024, and FDA submission and so forth. Our release is end of year 2024. We also address the market. Where do we go after? Who do we go after? We go after the physician and patient adoption, reimbursement through the insurance, distribution channels, and marketings. We have a strong marketing team that we assemble in place. Competition and risk, let's talk about mitigation. There are some CGMs out there. Keep in mind that we're not in a consumer product. We're a medical device, which has to go through the FDA approval. A lot of companies will come and say, we have a CGM. You can buy something for $50. Good luck. You're not going to be able to administer that. Now, some big competitors, like Apple announced in September 24 that they're entering the CGM market. Consumer product. If they are doing the FDA, that's a medical device, and we believe that we're a little bit ahead of the game, but could be also potential partnership. Okay? We have future plans. This is not going to be just sugar measurement. Now that we don't have to taste it or to poke anymore, we can actually measure other symptoms that Dr. Jacobi mentioned. Okay? All right, assumption on the return on investment. Complete FDA studies and launch by end of 2024. You grow to 300 units, 300K units by 2027. That will represent only 1% of the total market. We're looking at 300 million. Achieve 80% gross margin. You know, we want to keep it up there. And the end user price is $1,700 annually. Exit strategy, of course, organic growth, dividends, and profit sharing. Mergers and acquisition, I believe, will be very attractive within a year. Every few months, every month, actually, we get more results. Valuation is going up and up and up. It's not going to be sitting idle. And of course, IPO, which I personally am pushing for. Expecting 20 times EBITDA. All right, so why invest, Sanjay? Expanding and rapidly growing market. We are in that market. There is an interest and consciousness about this. Thank you for a wonderful book that Dr. Jacoby has out there. Check it out. Superior patent protected technology. A seasoned qualified leadership team. We're passionate and we know how to take it all the way to the end game. Address both patient healthcare needs and healthcare system economics. And clear path to return on investment. And that's the summary of that. I thank you for those. Some of the people here are investors, already invested in the company, so thank you for making the drive. We have one person who traveled all the way from Austin, Texas, to come visit here for the presentation, and all the way for Woodland Hills. So thank you very much again, and for Brad and Josh for putting this together.